Hello everyone, my name is Kevin, and I'm the Aptrepreneur. I don't normally feel the need to introduce myself as, hi, I am the Aptrepreneur. I normally say I'm your Aptrepreneur, but I have a feeling for a lot of people this is going to be your first time viewing one of my videos, and for good reason, because I am commenting on something that is outside my basic demographic. My videos are geared towards people who drive for Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Postmates, Caviar, Deliv, Amazon Flex, maybe, at some point. And I give them advice on how to make money doing this in the most efficient way possible in the least amount of time. And over the last several months, it's kind of been turning into like a news commentary channel where I also comment on the news stories, but still primarily for people who drive. But Uber gave me a great early Christmas gift. Holy cow. I can't stop laughing. This company is so damn stupid. They really are. Anyway, if you are not a driver, join me for this video because we are going to analyze basically the moment a company imploded upon itself. But first, a recap. In the last, I'm going to say 2.5 weeks. Yeah, let's say 2.5 weeks. Let's be generous. Uber, the ride-sharing company that I'm sure everyone here uses, and at the very least most people who watch my videos drive for, got into hot water over what has been now dubbed the Susan Fowler scandal, where she wrote a blog post explaining the sexual harassment culture of Uber, which forced CEO Travis Kalanick to make a statement and then have a company-wide meeting about how this was deplorable, this was unacceptable, they were not going to tolerate this kind of behavior, and this is going to be important to the story later on, or later on in the video. Then they got sued by Google for stealing company secrets. Not entirely sure how far that's going to go, but they've been sued. 2 weeks. And then Uber CEO makes another statement. No, we didn't do it. We didn't do this. And every time he makes these statements, we vow to improve as a company. We vow to improve. I will personally make sure that this company has a lot of integrity and we will stand by it. And then this happens.
Good to see you, man. Thank you. Good to see you too. I don't know if you remember me, but it's fine. The new people, the old people, 2010. Yeah. Super legit. Yeah, super legit, but we got 15
So we are reducing the number of black cars on the system over the next 6 months.
Yeah, it's good.
I mean, you probably saw some of the emails.
I saw the email starts in May. It's all about the rating. Yeah. But you're raising the standards and you're dropping the prices.
We're not dropping the price on black.
But in general, the whole price.
Yeah, we have to. We have competitors. Otherwise, we go out of business.
Competitors, man. You had the business model in your hands. You could have the prices you want, but you choose to buy everybody a ride.
No. You're misunderstanding. We started high end. We didn't go low end because we wanted to. We went low end because we had to, because we have to.
What, a lift? That's a piece of cake right there.
No, it seems like a piece of cake because I've beaten them. But if I didn't do the things I did, we would have been beaten, I promise.
Higher. We could go higher and more expensive. You get the best.
So here's the thing. We could do Lux in San Francisco, so I have guys working on Lux, which will be 50 to 75% more expensive than
But
Black.
people are not trusting you anymore. Do you think people will buy cars anymore? Unless they buy them through the invoice. Otherwise, nobody want to buy a car. I lost $97,000 because of you. I bankrupt because of you.
Look.
Yes.
You know what?
You keep changing every day. You keep changing
Hold on a
every
second.
day.
What have I changed about Black?
Huh?
What have
you
I
changed
changed?
the whole business.
What?
You dropped the prices.
On Black?
Yes, you did.
Bullshit.
We started with $20.
Bullshit.
We started with $20.
You know what?
How much is the mile now? $275?
You know what?
What?
Some people don't like to take responsibility for
I
their
take
own shit.
responsibility.
They blame everything
But
in
why
their
you
life on
sending an
somebody
email
else.
for town cars?
Good luck.
Good luck to you too, but I know you don't gonna go far.
So for those of you who are not aware of what you had just seen, that is the CEO, Travis Kalanick. He has called an Uber Black to go home or go somewhere. I don't know. And there's an Uber driver. And this 6-minute video, which I'm not showing in its entirety here, but I will have a link to it below. You know, the driver waits till they get to the destination and then asks Kalanick about the fare rates. He asks Kalanick about the fare cuts, and Kalanick, of course, first starts explaining we need to stay competitive, which is baloney. They didn't have that much competition. They still really don't have that much competition. They have more competition now, but if he was cutting prices when there was no competition, then holy cow, I don't know what he's going to do when there is competition. It's just like... But the driver's trying to tell him how difficult it is to make money, how he's lost $97,000. And as you saw, Kalanick just completely lost on this guy. It escalated very quickly. He showed no professional courtesy whatsoever. And channels like mine thrive because Uber drivers are largely frustrated. They're frustrated with the pay, they're frustrated with the rates, they're frustrated with the way the company treats them. Amazingly, these stories have been falling on more and more deaf ears. But an incident finally happened where the media, like wildfire, spread this video and showed the CEO for what it is. And he issued a statement. And I'm going to read the statement in full. You know, and this is what his apology says. This is a good one, folks. By now, I'm sure you've seen the video where I treated an Uber driver disrespectfully. To say that I am ashamed is an extreme understatement. I'm sorry, Iva. I've got to do my terrible Donald Trump impression at this point. My job as your leader is to lead, and that starts with behaving in a way that makes us all proud. That is not what I did, and it cannot be explained away. It's clear that this video is a reflection of me, and the criticism we've received is a stark reminder that I must fundamentally change as a leader and grow up. This is the first time I've been willing to admit that I need leadership help, and I intend to get it. I want to profoundly apologize to Fauzi as well as the driver and rider community and to the Uber team. Thank you. Okay, that's probably not much of a Donald Trump impression. But screw it, I'm gonna keep it. Here's the thing. This falls into Uber's whole, we'll do the shady stuff first, and then if we get caught, we'll apologize and promise change later. But this time, the evidence is way more damaging to the company than he realizes for a couple of reasons. And I'll start with the obvious one first, and then we're going to get to the second part that I don't think people have quite caught on to yet. But remember that thing about the sexual harassment case I mentioned earlier? Keep it in the back of your mind. It's coming back up. Because here's the thing. The first thing that he says is like, okay, he admits he has leadership issues and that he's not treating the drivers with respect, and it shows that he's not treating the drivers with respect. He shows that he has such contempt for the people who have built his company. It's sad. It is so very, very sad. And here's the thing. As an Uber driver, I don't care if you are an independent contractor. That is your boss, and bosses should have open door policies that if you have a problem, you go to them and you complain. And here's the thing. If he wanted to be tactful about this, if maybe that was not the best time to bring it up, here's what he should have done. Here's my business card. It's got my phone number. We will make an appointment and we will discuss the issues head on. And that is what he should have done. But of course, considering that the PR guy that they hired to more or less temper the fires of the drivers, and he's the one who coined the phrase, "This is the year of the drivers," can't even answer more than 12 questions in a Facebook Q&A question without bailing on everyone because the questions got too heated. And 2 of those questions that he answered were confirmations that the chat was working. What do we expect from the CEO? I mean, this is the culture he created, and people described him that he likes it being tough, he likes it being competitive. More and more stories are coming out that shows that he's actually really not that stable, and we have a video that kind of confirms that he's not that stable. He cannot stand being challenged. Heck, I might get deactivated after watching this video. Who knows? If I do, I will obviously let you guys know. And that's one thing. And some people have brought up, well, he can't be blaming Kalanick for this. I mean, no one's forcing him to drive for Uber. But let me tell you how Kalanick is to blame for this guy's problems. I'm going to use a very modest example. I get up early in the morning. One of my strategies is you get up at 4:30 in the morning and you do airport rides because people need to go to the airport. But there's not a lot of Uber drivers up at that morning, so it's usually surging. And if I get a 2 to 3 times surge going to LAX, that usually nets me $70 to $80 for less than an hour. Now that's great. That is one of my favorite sayings on this channel is that's way more than Bernie's 15 an hour. So yes, you can make money doing this. I never said you couldn't. But here's the thing. Had I taken that same trip 2 years ago when I first started it, was the same surge, I would have made more than $100 for that hour. Kind of puts things in perspective. Fozzie drives Uber Black, and in the video, Kalanick said that they never cut the rates for Uber Black. Yes, they did cut the rates for Uber Black. If memory serves, and if I'm wrong, someone will correct me in the comments, Uber Black started out at like a $50 ride, and it would be like $8 a mile. Uber Black is the fancy luxury car. That's when you get like a Tesla or a Lexus or a limousine. You don't get a Toyota Corolla, for example, or a Camry, or a Prius, which is what I'll be getting in a few months. You get a fancy car, and so you're paying for the luxury. And the Uber Black people usually wore tuxedos, and they had water for free. It's a fancy ride. But if memory serves, now it starts out at $20 and the per mile rate is $2.75. Now, I know that there's a lot of Uber X riders who would love to have that rate. Again, this is a fancy car. And yeah, that's the thing. You definitely notice a loss in income. There is a big difference from the minimum trip starting off at $10 to now being $3. It's a very big difference. And Uber is responsible because some people got into Uber, they did the math, and they said, you know what? If I buy the car, and I work this much hours on these days, I can make this much money a year. I can make this work. And in fact, Uber even offered car financing options through the company where you could drive for Uber and they would take the money out of your Uber account to pay for the car. And people probably calculated this is how much I'd have to drive to make this much, and I can make it work. And you could make it work back then. Now, at 90 cents a mile, people still have that same car payment. It hasn't gone down, but the rates have dropped as much as 75%, sometimes more in some markets. And not only did the rates drop by that much, but Uber's commission went up from 15% to as high as 35% in some markets. This is why the driver, had to say something to Kalanick. It's like, hey, do you realize how much money you cost me? Do you realize how much money? And there was no reason to cut the rates at that point. Again, there was no competition. There was Lyft, but Lyft, actually, here's the funny thing. I should probably correct before I go any further. Uber started out exclusively as the Uber Black. It was fancy and it was cool. Lyft came along and became the economy favorite version. And then that's what prompted Uber to launch their Uber X line, and the rest is history, as they say. So Lyft actually did encourage Uber to get into the cheaper ride-sharing game. But Uber then aggressively dropped the prices so much that No, it's very hard to make money doing this. Like, I have to be very specific and careful about how I drive for Uber. I mean, boosts and bonuses help. They do. The hourly guarantees from Uber side don't help whatsoever. But it's changed. It's changed. And the Uber driver had every right to call him out on it. And his response was not professional, and it was uncalled for. And the rudeness and the arrogance in his voice, you gotta love that arrogance, because I have on camera. Here's the thing, most people don't even know what Kalanick sounds like. He gives all the statements through emails or private Uber meetings, and you almost never hear him speak. He will not be interviewed on television, and he hates television interviews, or at least he likes to control them. He doesn't want to be questioned about things like driver's pay and employee status. He doesn't want that. So, to Kevin on camera basically confirming that he is the scumbag that we all know he is, that is beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. But now I need to actually address a second issue, because this video is about 6 minutes long. And that confrontation I showed you, very brief, happens way near the end. And I was trying to figure out, why would you be showing 6 minutes of this? And here's the thing. It might have been, first of all, to show the uncut footage to kind of, show, hey, we're not being biased. This is just what happened. But the 5 minutes before that confrontation, I'm so giddy about this, actually says a lot more about Kalanick than people realize just yet. And I think it's going to come to bite him. Now, I'm going to put it on camera while I talk about this, but just look at what's happening. Here's Kalanick, and how is he acting? He's acting like a college frat boy. He's got 2 women to his side, and he's, happy as a clown. He's acting drunk, not talking to the driver. I have had so many rides where people are like this, and they're just obnoxious. But here's not the reason it's terrible. It's not because he's acting obnoxious that this is going to come back to bite him. It's the fact that Uber has just started addressing the sexual harassment lawsuits, how they treat women at Uber, and Kalanick came forward, said that he was going to treat with more respect. And what's he doing? He's on a Uber dash cam with a couple of, I'm sorry ladies, a couple of floozies acting like a college frat boy. Kalanick, seriously, this is not the image of yourself you want to be portrayed as while you're in the middle of addressing sexual harassment claims. This is gold. This is such gold, guys. Wow. I do not know how this is going to progress, but let me tell you one thing. Kalanick right now is glad and should be thankful. If he should be thanking every investor, every instinct in his body. If he doesn't believe in a god, he should be praising a god. That Uber is not a publicly traded company, because he would be so gone at this point. You have 3 disasters in 3 weeks. 3 major disasters in 3 weeks. One of them directly linked to you, showing your company in a bad light. Oh, and by the way, there was that little report at the end of last year that, yeah, we blew through like $4 billion in cash, and we didn't make any money, even though we were totally capable of making money. I need to take a breath. I need to take a breath. Hold on. I'm sorry, folks. I know I should edit stuff like this out, but... Wow. Tastes like victory. So, does this mean Uber as a company is going to change? I don't know. I really have no idea. But there's a couple positive things about this. One, Kalanick has shown his true colors. He cannot hide from it. He cannot hide from it anymore. And I have no idea how serious about getting help he is, but he needs to do something, and he needs to do it fast. So that's step one. Kalanick is in very, very serious trouble with the investors right now. Here's the second thing. the issue of driver pay has been brought forward. This guy, you're going to start seeing Uber drivers. I don't know if probably not me, but other Uber drivers are going to be on talk shows. They're going to be now talking about how the fare cuts have affected them. Delete Uber, the hashtag movement, it's probably going to come back, only this time it will actually be a deserved comeback. If Lyft really wants to stick it to Uber, they will raise their rates first thing tomorrow morning to show that they care for the drivers and get as much good publicity as they can. This might just be the moment that Uber crashes. I never thought I'd say that. I always said, you know what, they're going to struggle, but they'll be fine. This is something that's not going to go away anytime soon. And you know what? If it had just been this, maybe nothing would have happened. But the fact that the other two things happened throughout the month, he's in trouble. He's in trouble. Uber's in trouble. At this point, it would be in Uber's best interest to get rid of him as soon as possible. I don't know if they're actually able to do that, but they need to. Oh, and before we end this video, because holy cow, 20 minutes. This could have been like a sitcom episode. It'll take you less time to watch an episode of South Park or Last Man Standing. Because, yeah, that show is still on the air. On the final note, Fozzie, the driver, did comment that he gave Travis Kalanick 1 star. Fozzie, I truly wish you could have given him less. So, I know people really want to comment on this one, so comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one. I have not had as much fun on this channel in making videos in such a long time, and who knows when I'm going to get to have it again. I'm going to treasure this video for a long, long time.